It is currently 7:41 in the morning, and we are debating where dinosaurs came from. My thing is that they came from dragons, right? Right? Because another meteor shower and volcano eruption and stuff probably happened, and the dinosaurs got their wings so they could fly above it, and then the ice age happened, and so all their food got frozen, and so dinosaurs adapted from dragons, and then the same thing happened again because, you know, history repeats itself. So settle this argument, please. Did dinosaurs come from dragons? That is all. All right, Fred, settle this argument. Did dinosaurs come from dragons? There's your answer. Jello! So, continuing from the last video, the sanding saga of the Miata, we are finishing up prep work, last minute stuff. Fred went ahead and bondoed some things on the hardtop, and he fixed the passenger fender because it was pretty crunchy. So, fender's nice and bondoed now. I have a little bit of last minute scotch padding and sanding to do just to make sure it's all good to go for primer tomorrow. So if you saw the last video, you saw me sanding all of the Miata. A lot of it was time-lapse because it's a lot of sanding to do, and I couldn't really take the time to stop sanding and film, unfortunately. But I should be able to get some good footage for you guys of getting this thing primered as well as painted. We still have to weld a few spots as well, but basically done with prep work. Got my little antenna guy there and a couple of holes that are in the trunk that need to be welded shut and then bondoed over. Anyhow, let's get this in the paint booth and get it primed. Primered? Primered? Primed? Primered? Primed. Preemed? Anyways, let's get primer on this. So it's all prepped and ready for the epoxy primer stuff. And Steve is helping getting my shot view ready. There's Steve. But I'll show you guys really quick.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not the best prep work because I did it.
I'm gonna need some more tape.
And apparently it's not done. Another example of my crappy prep work, but just gonna be some overspray in the car. It's not a big deal.
There's gonna be some overspray everywhere, all over the place, but no big deal.
Yeah, that's what we're painting with. Whatever overspray comes from the GTO hood.
It lands on this.
Yeah.
That's all it gets.
But hardtop is ready as well. Spraying that separately because of the edges of where the hardtop meets on the Miata itself. Needs to get painted down in here. So Fred obviously is painting it all because I can't even prep it, so. But yeah.
Yeah, this is where your paint on your Miata is flaking. To everybody out there, I know when you painted your Miata, you didn't take that molding off. No one takes it off, but we did.
There's a door there. Okay, but to make it look cool, I'm gonna time lapse this part because why not? And yeah. So just got done shooting it. It's got 2 coats of the epoxy on it. Fred shot most of the car. I did shoot some of the trunk. Hi, Sarah. But the hard top, the second coat, I actually sprayed all on my own, which was fun. But the primer did point out quite a few areas that I missed when I was sanding, like that chip and these flakes. But, you know, paint job is only as good as the prep. So we'll see how long that lasts. But it is race car, so it doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna come to work like this every day. So we're gonna let this sit in the sun for a couple of days and harden up nice and good. And then we're gonna scuff it before we put the 2K on it, 2K primer. But it's all one color now and no longer Jawbreaker, so that's really nice.
The next day.
Jello! So the Miata is all covered in the epoxy sealer, primer, whatever you want to call it. I have to scuff it up really quick with the red Scotch pad so I can get the actual primer on it. We did just buy the base coat, primer, clear coat kit, and sealer. Basically, supply-wise, we're all ready to go. I just have to finish scuffing this up and then we can get it in there for the primer. And then move on to other paint stuff. So, now to scuff. Alright, so hood is all scuffed up. As you can see, you can tell the difference between fender, hood, fender, hood. Anyways, I have to scuff up the rest of the car and the hard top. So I'm gonna do that really quick and not make you guys sit through that again. Scuffed. Hard top is done as well. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but well, just because it went from dull to duller. But you can tell by my hands, they're all covered in stuff in the scuff pad. I got in the grooves really good and around the edges and stuff. So on to the next step. But scuffing was fairly easy. That part was super easy. Just gotta get in there and basically, of course, scuff up the paint and stuff and just make it more dull. And then we'll be on to primer once this is cleaned off and everything. Also, I know my tripod makes a lot of guest appearances. I'm gonna name him Gary because I have to film all on my own and everything like that, and I'm just not up to par as everybody else is. So my tripod will make appearances on occasion. So this is Gary. Say hi to Gary. Yes, he is named after Gary the snail. I don't know why. On to the next thing. So we had a camera to do a time lapse in the paint booth and I forgot to turn it on. But this is the actual primer. So this is over the epoxy. This is all the stuff that I'm gonna have to sand or block, possibly DA because it's race car. Why not? But almost have it all unmasked now because we're gonna have to remask it for the base coat and everything else. But it doesn't look any different. The primer's the same color. We just built up about 3 coats of primer on top of the epoxy. So hopefully it would tuck away some of the little mess ups that were left and cracks and other things like that. But I'm not going for show car quality on the Miata because it's a dedicated race car. there's no point in making it show car quality if I'm just gonna crash into a corner right away. So it's gonna be pretty instead of 7 different colors and Jawbreaker-y and black. It'll be different and one color and not Jawbreaker-y. Anyways, next step is to do more sanding on this, and then we'll get it in the booth to actually spray it.
Let's get out of here.